You've got big projects to tackle, but your day gets swallowed up by repetitive tasks and constant inquiries. It's hard to make progress when you're stuck putting out fires. That's where Element 451's AI assistants come in. Acting like an extra set of hands, you get your time back for the high-impact projects. Ready to reclaim your time? Visit element451.com/AI team to learn more.
Let's face it, the community college application and registration process can often feel overwhelming and sometimes confusing and even frustrated. It makes you wonder how many potential students a college is losing because they can't overcome this initial hurdle, and how many choose to go somewhere else. To better serve these students and their families, Waukesha County Technical College launched in person registration events where students can come in and complete everything in one go. And saw 20% of their new students choose to register this way. So stay with us to learn more about the best practices in organizing and promoting events like this. Welcome to The Hidden Gem, your go-to podcast that shines a spotlight on the strategic role of marketing and communications in shaping the future of community colleges. I'm your host, Maya Demishkevich, CMO at Carroll Community College. Every week, I sit down with community college leaders and industry experts to unpack strategies that work. We'll discuss practical insights and success stories to help you elevate your institution's profile and achieve your strategic goals. Tune in to amplify your community college's success, one conversation at a time. The Hidden Gem is part of the Enrollment Network, a robust collection of podcasts designed to help higher education professionals like you grow. Explore our other shows at enrollify.org or check out some of my personal favorites linked in the show notes below. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com. And let's get started. Today, I'm thrilled to introduce Kaylan Gaines, Director of Recruitment and Engagement at Waukesha County Technical College. So, welcome to the Hidden Gem, Kaylan.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
I think this is such an important topic because registration can be very complicated. And how do we meet students where they are and provide different options? So, what I wanted to start with is to ask you, what led you to create this in person registration event? Were there any specific problems or needs that you have identified and you wanted to address with this particular initiative?
What we noticed at Waukesha County Technical College was that students would essentially get stuck throughout their process of learning about the college, going through the
Mm-hmm.
admission steps, and then ultimately having to meet with a number of different departments. Students would come to campus, they would meet with admissions, and then from there, if they wanted questions answered about financial aid, they'd have to come back to campus, and then it goes on and on with the different departments and services that we provide to students. So that was one thing that we noticed. We wanted to figure out a way to make things streamlined and really simple for students. Another thing that we noticed was due to COVID in the past, we transitioned to an online orientation. So students would watch this online orientation, and then from there, they would again be in a situation where they felt stuck. Maybe they wanted to connect with someone about assuring that they're selecting the right courses and different things like that to ultimately lead to them saying yes to WCTC by registering for those courses. So, in all, we noticed those two big problems. One,
Mm-hmm.
students coming to campus multiple times and then just burning out or not having the opportunity to come back to campus to complete other steps. And then also, after watching those videos, we wanted to create an opportunity for them to come in person to essentially get the help that they needed to feel confident with registering for the courses that they are interested in. That leads to them gaining the credential that they wanted.
Hmm. Yeah, that makes sense. And then you created this event that is called Admission Accomplished. By the way, I love the name
Yeah.
of this event. Can you walk us through what it looks like? Which offices were involved in the creation process, or maybe during the event itself? And how does it flow from start to finish to give us an idea?
Yeah, so essentially, a mission accomplished is a one-stop enrollment shop where a student can walk through all of the steps with the enrollment process in a matter of a few hours.
Hmm.
Some students even faster. So imagine, you wake up one morning and you are interested in starting college, but you do not know where to start. You go scrolling Waukesha County Technical College's website, and you see an event called a Mission Accomplished. At a Mission Accomplished, you can come in, and it starts with you first understanding and getting a gauge of ultimately what it is that you want to pursue at WCTC. So it starts there. Then you have an opportunity to apply, be admitted on the spot. We would help you through those different type of requirements to be admitted, and then from there we would help you with essentially registering for the courses, and then connecting you to financial aid, any other services or departments that you may need. So essentially, it's from inquiry all the way to registered at this event, where a student can come in and complete any of those steps where they may be at in the admissions or enrollment process. The different
Hmm.
departments that we have involved are all of our student services. So we have recruitment and admissions involved. We also have our advising department involved. Also, we have financial aid, and then we have our career services department. Um, Disability or accommodations department. And then from there, we have our mental health counseling department involved. And then lastly, we also have student life involved. So we
Hmm.
bring all those different departments together because a student is going to touch or interact with any of those departments any amount of time in the enrollment process for them to feel confident about starting at the college. So, in a nutshell, it's an event where you can come in, you complete all the steps from start to finish, and then you have an opportunity to engage with these other areas to ensure that you are all set for starting at the college.
Hmm. And how is it set up? Is it almost like stations, or is it in different rooms, or is it one-on-one advising?
When a student would walk through the doors, that's where they would check in at. At check
Hmm.
in is where we are going to provide them with this checklist that we created for them that is going to be the roadmap or guide to their day. So it starts there, establishing what they're interested in. And then from there, they will transition to our enrollment counseling team, our mission counseling team that helps them apply on the spot for the program that they are interested in. Sometimes
Hmm.
students come in, they are undecided. So then we have those conversations with them about differences between programs and then help them select one. From
Hmm.
there, we will help them move on to their next station, which is being admitted on the spot. So that's where we take
Hmm.
them to our um, admissions operations team. And then from there, they process that application and have them admitted on the spot. Students can also submit documentation such as transcripts, ACT scores, anything for them to essentially be admitted for completing their checklist items. Also, we do
Hmm.
waive the application fee for them at the event. So we are making sure that they are admitted. From there, once they are admitted, applied to a program, we transition them to meeting with their advisor. So in that advising space, or with that advisor, it's the registration lab is where they're actually selecting the courses. It's group advising. So students would come in, regardless of what program that they're interested in. And then we have that on spot advising help from the whole advising team that's in the room. So they help them with what the course sequence looks like, adjusting scheduling based on availability in the student's life. And then from there, the student would leave registered for courses after they leave that space. After registering, then we make sure that we print a schedule for them. So they leave with a
Hmm.
printed schedule, and then after that, we take their picture for their photo ID. And then lastly, we sign them up for, or give them the opportunity to sign up for another event called Jumpstart. And that's specifically designed to build community with all of our incoming students. It's like a welcome session So we offer to sign them up for that. For the most part, students are going to sign up. And then lastly, we like to celebrate them with a big hoorah, a cowbell that we have at the end to celebrate their enrollment. So that's how it works from start to finish.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. Like I can see myself taking an opportunity and coming to register in just one day. Like that's amazing. You don't have to think about things. Everybody is guiding you through the process.
Yeah.
And I love the integration of the celebration component and the bell at the end. I'm sure that's kind of generating a lot of
Oh yeah.
excitement.
it's definitely it's definitely is heard throughout campus. So
Hmm.
anytime different staff or faculty walk the area here, they always ask about the cowbell. So students love it. We love it. This event is just really great for us.
I also want to give you kudos for creating a great checklist. So you have shared with me the checklist that you give to students when they walk into this event. And what I really liked was it was so clear on what steps they need to complete in addition to services that they can take advantage of once they become a student. So great job. Maybe we can share it in a link or
Yeah.
something to a PDF, because I think it's a great example of how you can simplify the enrollment process and clearly step by step show students what to do. And it wasn't like 10
No.
steps. You only had because often you go to a website and you see like take those 10 steps to complete your registration, and even seeing that could feel overwhelming, right? So you narrow it down to a lot less.
Yeah, so with that checklist went through a number of different versions. So we originally started this event about a year about a year ago, year and a half ago, and we started with a number of different steps that students would go through, and essentially throughout um, just improving the event every time we do it, we shortened it down to the most critical steps and items that students need. So
Hmm.
in total, there's 5 steps. 3 of them are required for enrollment, and then the fourth and fifth step, you take your ID for step number 4, and then number 5 is signing up for that welcome session jumpstart where we build community with the incoming students. So, as you mentioned, it's not a long checklist. We wanted to really drill down to make sure it's short and sweet so that
Hmm.
students don't feel overwhelmed when they are looking at that checklist. But ultimately, students like it, and it's, as mentioned earlier, it's their guide and their roadmap to complete their steps at the event.
We'll try to add a link in show
Mhm.
notes because I think it's a great example on how to create those checklists.
Hey, it's Mallory. Element 451 is hosting the AI Engage Summit on October 29th and 30th. This free virtual event brings together leaders, innovators, and many of your favorite Enrollify creators to explore AI's impact on student engagement, enrollment marketing, and institutional success. We're packing the schedule with real examples and case studies so you leave knowing how to harness AI to drive meaningful change at your institution. Whether you're looking to enhance student outcomes, optimize enrollment marketing, or simply stay ahead of the curve, the AI Engage Summit is your gateway to the next level of higher education innovation. Registration is free. Visit element451.com to save your spot. Now, back to the show.
I'm curious, how often do you put those events together? So I would imagine part of your students still go through the online registration
Yeah.
process, um, and then some come to those events. So how frequently do you do them?
This past fall, we did 4 of them. So we did one in May, one in June, one in July, and then one in August. We wanted to time up the event offerings with our course registration options opening. So registration initially this past summer opened up May 1st. So
Hmm.
we knew some students were going to have the opportunity to register, the normal way, but we wanted to make sure that we start to offer those opportunities earlier than what we have done in the past for students who want to get a jump start on everything. So we offered the one in May around late May. The one in June and late June, and the one in July, same thing, late June or late July, excuse me. And then the one in August, we offered that one really like the week before the application closed, really like a couple days
Mm,
before the application closed, just to make sure that students who had a thought about starting college or maybe learned about want to do college later had that opportunity to come in and complete all the steps in that one day. So that was the thought process behind that, because last year we only did two of them for the summer.
mm-hmm.
And they both, one was in June and one was in July, but we didn't do any in August and we didn't do any in May. So we wanted to add two additional dates. And then the growth is just exponential in terms of what it has gotten to compared to
Yeah.
last year.
So let's talk about that. What is the growth? What are the outcomes that you have observed from those events? Are there any ex- unexpected benefits, unexpected results? And I'm also curious, what percent of your students choose to come to in-person registration events?
Yeah, so when we first did this event, we typically would have somewhere around 50 students attend and
Mm-hmm.
50 to like 60 students attend. And then from there, typically around 72 to 73% of the students would leave registered. So if 50 came, around 35 to 40
Mm-hmm.
or something like that would typically register. When we kicked it off this year, we changed our approach with who we're inviting to the event, how frequently we're talking about the event. So we increased our marketing. We also targeted different parts of the funnel. With inviting people to the events. So now 50 is no longer the standard of the event. Every event that we did this past summer had 100 plus. So on the low
Wow.
end, we had 102. On the high end, we had 145. Um, so the event definitely has gained popularity in terms of the amount of students that have attended. In terms of results, as mentioned, we typically would have about 70 to 73% of the students register that attended the event. This year, that shot up to 83% of the students that are attending the event are leaving registered on the spot. Our registration rate went up, our attendance of students also went up. And then, in terms of numbers specifically, for all of the enrollment that we brought in for fall, 25% of the enrollment came from this Mission Accomplished event. So
Mm-hmm.
it's a huge chunk of our enrollments coming from this event.
Right, like a quarter. So that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
That's that's great. You started talking a little bit about how you promote the event. Can you expand on that? Specifically, who do you invite? How do you invite them? Are there any particular channels that you've noticed work better than others in terms of generating the response and attendance?
In terms of who we invite to the event or who we target, we essentially are focusing on anyone in the funnel that has already applied but has not registered. So they can be applied but not admitted. They can be admitted, not registered. They can complete the video orientation but not be registered. So anybody who's in the funnel who is not registered is who we invite to the event. In the past, this originally was supposed to really be for students who were admitted, completed that orientation, that video orientation, but just couldn't get over the hump. But we expanded it to essentially anybody in the funnel who hasn't registered, because we know those students maybe just are having some challenges in terms of understanding the steps and completing everything. So they just need that assistance. So that's who we targeted to. In terms of how we do that, first thing we do is every admit letter that we have going out, we put in our Mission Accomplished flyer inviting those students to this event. Anybody that's admitted, right away, they will get notification about that. Also, we do a number of different email campaigns that invite students to the event. So that's anybody who has applied but maybe hasn't completed their application, all the way to students who are admitted who haven't registered for courses yet. So we have an email campaign that happens. And then also we drive everything through text messaging. That's where we
Mm-hmm.
see the majority and bulk of the pre-registration comes in at, when we do our text messaging campaign, inviting people to the Mission Accomplished event. And then lastly, with different appointments that we have with students coming in, we invite them, let them know about the event overall. And then we do also do some community um, marketing in terms of billboards. But for the most part, it's really all in-house in terms of inviting students in the funnel to the
Mm-hmm.
event, and then word of mouth of students coming in as drop-ins.
What advice would you give to other institutions looking to replicate your success?
Um, I would say think about ways that you can streamline the steps and the process for students when it comes to starting at your college. So, for example, a lot of colleges like to have admitted student days, and then they have orientation and these different events. It can be a lot for students, especially from students population that technical colleges are working with, where they just don't have it in their schedule to come back that many times, or it's a challenge for them to get a ride to campus to do something like this. So look at all of your events that you're hosting, and see where there can be any type of combination or streamlining of those events. So I like to use Admitted Student Day as a good example. In my time working in admissions, Admitted Student Day was always about getting students to essentially say yes to your college by showing them why this is a good decision for them once they are admitted. And then from there, there's always the orientation piece. So think about potentially blending those two together, right? Instead of having
Mm-hmm.
an admitted student day and orientation, maybe you just do it all in one. And then the students that are registering for that, you know that they are serious about attending your school. They just maybe don't know how to finish the last steps or anything like that.
Right.
So that's one thing. And then also just know your student body or your student population. Understand that if this type of event does work for them, where students are looking to get everything done in one shot, convenience is something that is a standard across everything that we do in our society, right? So there's apps that know what to recommend for you. There's just everything is about convenience. So anytime you can make something convenient for a student, you're going to have great outcomes when it comes to enrollment.
Mm-hmm. That's a great advice. One last question I have for you. Have you noticed a difference in maybe age and type of students attending in-person events versus the ones who do it online?
Yeah, so this event, we're looking at that right now, really diving in who attended, what type of programs and different things like that. On this event, we're seeing a wide range of different student types, but
Mm-hmm.
essentially average age, since we do have a wide range of students that attend the college, but average age is 26, 27. Skews a
Mm-hmm.
little bit higher on male students coming to attend this event. So those are the type of students that we have come in. I think it's because those students, they have a lot going on in their life, right? They're working,
Right.
they may have other obligations in their life, so they just need that in-person assistance to help them get over that hump. And then lastly, in terms of students who are bringing guests, we notice those are our younger students, because our student population and student body is getting younger every year, with students in dual enrollment, dual credit, and then also just students taking gap years, deciding on us after graduating high school. So those students are bringing their parent or their guardian or some type of support system to help them get acclimated to the college. So that's
Mm-hmm.
the type of student that we're seeing attend the event.
Right. And I lied. I have one more question for you. What days of the week and what times do you hold those events? And have you noticed a difference in attendance for those particular days and times?
Yeah, so we also played around a little bit with this, constantly looking at it and making changes to it. So no matter what time we host it, we always get the same uh,
Mm.
outcome in terms of students that are pre-registered and students that attend. So last year we did 2 sessions. We did one from 1 to 5, and then we did one from 3 to 7. We saw the same exact numbers, around the mid 50s that pre-registered and the mid 50s that attended.
Mm-hmm.
So what we decided to do is to just keep it at that 1 to 5 mark, since it really didn't make any difference. So for the
Right.
4 that we just did, we did 2 of them on a Tuesday, and then we did the other 2 on a Thursday. Typically here at WCTC, we do a lot of stuff on Thursdays. I don't really know why, but it seems to work out for us. So that's where we saw the big spikes, like I said, in terms of 100 plus every time. The largest one we did was in July 25th. That was the one that was on Thursday. That one brought in 145 students. So I think
Mm-hmm.
I think really the months of how close to the semester matters more here for us versus the day, because
Mm-hmm.
students, if they find it valuable, they will take off of work, or they will
Yeah.
make it available in their schedule to come in if they know they can complete everything in one shot.
Right. Well, I appreciate you sharing your insights and talking a little bit about your success. I hope other colleges benefit from our discussion and maybe consider including in-person registration events if they already don't, because I do feel like it is reducing the barriers
Mhm.
for some of the students who are not able or maybe get frustrated doing it online and need additional assistance. So congratulations to you and your team. I think what you did is amazing. And again, I appreciate you taking the time to share this.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure to chat with you.
I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it valuable. Let's keep this conversation going on LinkedIn at Maya Demishkevich. I would love to hear your thoughts, questions, and suggestions for what you'd like to see next on this podcast. Remember, by tuning in to The Hidden Gem, you're not just listening to a podcast, you are joining a movement of amplifying community colleges' success. Don't miss out. Subscribe to this podcast and notifications about our future episodes. Share it with your colleagues and college leaders to help make our colleges stand out. Together, let's make an impact. The Hidden Gem is part of the Enrollify podcast network. If you like this podcast, chances are you will like other Enrollify shows too. Our podcast network is growing by the month, and we've got a plethora of marketing, enrollment, and higher education technology shows that are jam-packed with stories, ideas, and frameworks, all designed to empower you to be a better higher ed professional. Our shows help higher ed marketers and admissions professionals find their next big idea and feature selection of the industry's best as your hosts. Learn from Jamie Hunt, Jenny Fowler, Eddie Francis, Brian Gross, and so many other of your favorite leaders in higher ed. Enrollify is made possible by Element 451, the leading AI-powered all-in-one student engagement platform helping institutions create meaningful, personalized, and engaging interactions with students. Learn more at element451.com.